Chris, do you think your music can really influence what goes on over there?
Well, they have had helicopters flying up above us all bloody afternoon, so they obviously think we're a pretty almighty threat. I think we can influence what happens over there. I'd just like the viewers to see that we're in the subliminal Billy Bragg enemy front cover shot at the moment. I don't think we can influence them in there, but I think you can influence the people who's walking over that bridge. About 2,000 students have just been passed on a demonstration against the government. There's the people that's working in the tugboats and in the lorries and whatever I think can influence. I don't think we can influence the... I think they're a bit far gone in
John, how about you?
I don't think they buy our records over there, put it that way. I'm pretty cynical about the Houses of Parliament because, I mean, there's people over there, they're only accountable every 4 years to a sort of a population that aren't particularly interested in what goes on in there. I think we can provoke ideas and discussion. I think both bands can do that.
You wouldn't agree then that you might just be preaching to the converted?
No, definitely not.
The Labour Party next year, allegedly, is organising tours, promoting tours with rock acts. Would you be happy to take part in those?
We've done Labour Party benefits for the miners. I've been happy to do that. I'm not sure about just promoting the Labour Party. I'd have to see a better response from the Labour Party.
Chris, sharing a platform with Neil Kinnock. Would you be happy to do that?
If you want the long, complicated, ideologically argued answer, the answer is no. I mean, I can tell you one thing: the Labour Party promoting tours, the one thing you can guarantee is that it'll sell out.
John, does pop music trivialise
John.
politics, or does it make it too simplistic?
It trivialises politics in the sense that most bands don't think they're political when, in fact, they're holding a particularly reactionary stance. But bands that consciously try to be political, like ourselves and the Redskins,
are they not just
are
slogans?
not trivialising. We don't make slogans.
Traditionally, the politics of rock and roll and pop music have been left-wing, or at least anti-establishment. But if party politics are going to enter the music business, will we see bands supporting the government? Tom Arnold, would you like to see your party promoting rock gigs?
No, we're not going to move in that direction. We don't believe that it would be appropriate or indeed politically advantageous to do so.
What's the Conservative Party's policy towards contemporary music? Is it important?
We consider it very important, but we believe above all that we have a duty to encourage diversity and indeed as wide a range of music as possible.
Do you think that pop music's a valid forum for political debate?
Absolutely, absolutely. But not just pop music. I would say the same applies to all kinds of music.
Why does the government not support, sponsor or encourage pop music in the way that it does, say, opera?
Well, I think we've always had a different tradition in terms of sponsoring music activities of one kind or another compared to the Labour Party. The Labour Party many, many years ago had a full-time professional socialist organiser, a composer, and they've always had a different approach. We've taken a very different view about how to encourage music, and I think we shall continue to do so.
The GLC has been vigorous in its support and promotion of all kinds of rock events and youth-orientated entertainment. When the government abolishes the GLC, will it be taking on the responsibilities for these kinds of entertainment?
I would doubt it very much, but it will be entirely open to the individual boroughs to decide to what extent they want to support particular artistic or musical activities within their boundaries. I mean, that will be a matter for them, just as indeed it is at present. Not a matter for us. That's the essential difference.
Paul, the Labour Party are planning a series of tours and concerts featuring major rock and pop acts in 1985. Do you think that's a good thing?
Well, it depends on their motives, I suppose, you know. If, I don't necessarily think it's always a good thing if, you know, for groups just to play for, to advertise, you know, whatever political party it is.
Would you be taking part if they invited you to do one?
Possibly, depends what it was for. If it was maybe, like, I'd probably do one for the GLC, because of, like, the, you know, for the threat of the abolition of the GLC. I mean, I'd do something like that. But, I mean, I don't think it's, I don't necessarily agree with bands doing them for a certain political party, because what if bands done them for the Conservative Party, you know?
Well, they're perfectly entitled to, I suppose.
Yeah, but most people, majority of people involved in music and the media, you know, music media, would obviously be against all that, wouldn't they? And they'd see it as just out and out propaganda.
Would you be happy to share a platform with Neil Kinnock?
Well, if he livens himself up a bit, I might do. He's a bit soft, though, isn't he?
Right. You said in a recent NME interview that the days of the ranting and shouting posture are all over. Is there no place for politics or protest in popular music anymore?
I think there is, but I think it depends how they're presented, you know. I just think it's too easy to rant about the problems. I mean, most people are aware of them, you know. And I think you've got to offer something else these days. I think there's got to be more detail paid to the problems, and also, you know, covering more angles as well. And I also think you've got to try in some way supply some kind of answer to some extent.
What can music achieve politically?
Within the world of politics, nothing, I don't think. I think the only thing it can do is reinforce people's feelings, give people strength, you know. But most of the time, I think you're playing to people who are probably already think the same way as you do. So I think, you know, the positive side of that is that it gives them strength, you know, to know that there's other people out there who feel the same way as them.
So you're essentially preaching to the converted, you think?
I think, yeah, I mean, if you're going to be realistic about it, yeah, you are. I think the other thing you probably can do is bring other things to people's notice. You know, maybe things that they haven't been aware about before, which is that detail I was talking about. I think that's important.
There's a lot of bozos in the white rock and roll tradition, aren't there? Been knocking around over the years. I mean, people like Victor Jara stuck it out quite long. People like Paul Robeson stuck it very, very long.
I'm talking about in the rock and roll field.
But that's what I'm saying, that in white rock and roll there's been a lot of real losers that have aligned themselves to, you know, being in political bands.
There's constant pressure on you to sort of succeed and to sell a lot of records. I mean, and people seem to think they have to do that by becoming a disco band, by selling their image to the extent where the music becomes unimportant. I mean, I think bands nowadays are looking at the music industry as an essentially corrupt thing rather than thinking they can change it from within. We accept it's totally corrupt. We'll use it for what we want to use it for.
But I mean, I think Costello's lasted, I think Dammer's lasted. I mean, you know, when Dammers actually decides to get out a great record, he can do it. He just flicks his fingers and he can get Nelson Mandela. But I mean, he's not doing it consistently, but certainly those two have lasted. Robert Wyatt's lasted.
So what do you think of bands like the Redskins, the Three Johns, the Newtown Neurotics?
I agree with some of the things that, you know, they say. But I think a lot of it as well just gets lost because I can't understand what they're singing about because of the style of music.
Why is it, do you think, that so many overtly political bands seem incapable of sustaining it?
I don't know, perhaps they don't write good songs. You know, because at the end of the day, if you haven't got a good tune, then no one's going to listen to it. They're not, you know, otherwise, if you're not going to try and put together a good song, then you might as well just, you know, just become a, you know, I don't know, an author or maybe a ranter or something, you know. Why bother trying to put together a melody if you're not going to do it properly?
Your attitude in your music's uncompromising. Do you think this alienates many of your potential supporters?
I don't think so. I mean, I think, you know, there's a few people that you mentioned the miners at gigs and they get upset and walk out, but a lot of people, once they see we're such a bunch of wacky, oddball lunatics anyway, I think not everyone does turn up knowing exactly what we are about. I don't think people come very, very completely aware of what we are about. I mean, people think we're a collegiate football team. Not everyone's coming expecting loads of politics, so some are, yes, some are put off, but in the main, people do come up to you and say, no, it was good the way you put things across.
What's brought you here, primarily, the politics or the music?
Well, I don't really think you can separate the two. I mean, I think it'd be pretty sad if all the music that was on offer was not politically motivated.
Right.
If all we had was like useless garbage, like such as like Bucks Fizz and the like. I mean, all we have left is things like the Redskins, and there's few enough of them.
I like the music, it's a good laugh. That's the reason I come here tonight, the laugh, because I enjoy it.
Well, they got a great name. It's better than the Blueskins.
Right, yeah.
If they had a name called the
concept
Blueskins.
of a skinhead band that's not connected with right-wing politics, basically. I think they're very brave to stand up and do what they're doing.
So you like what they're saying politically?
Yeah.
And the music's also exciting?
Yeah.
Is it not, coming to a Redskins gig, is it not just a sort of guilt-purging exercise? I mean, what do you do the rest? Are you involved in all kinds of political activity, or is it just the attendance at the odd left-wing gig?
Well, it's nice to be involved in political activity and go to a nice concert as well.
I like the music more than the politics.
But you're more keen on the politics?
I like the music very much, but it's the politics that clinches it, really. I mean, I think the music's great and it's really good to dance to, but it's really the message that they're banging home that I like.
Band O'Bally and Wham are just the politicos. You said they're wrong, like, you know, the Redskins are right.
What's brought you to the Redskins and Three Johns gig? The politics or the music?
Well, a bit of both, like, I mean, I like the f***ing music, right, because it's a bit of soul, you know what I mean, it's what it's all about, and the politics is all right, you know what I mean, but they toe the party line a bit too much, you know what I mean. I was
They're not radical enough for you?
Well, no, I was expelled from the SWP for being a hooligan, you know what I mean.
I see. And what kind of political activity, apart from going to a Redskins and Three Johns gig, do you participate
well,
in?
I mean, less said about that, the better, you know what I mean. They don't know the old built and too much.
Well, maybe we should get Bucks Fizz on this programme, right to reply and